to another episode of Tam Tonight. Today we have a very special guest, my good friend, all the way from my Phillip time, Mr. Christian Garza from House of Christian. Yay! Today we're going to cover our favorite looks and a little bit of the worst from New York Fashion Week. So, Christian, if you'd like to start it off, give us one of your looks.
Okay, so my first, I had two outfits selected, and both of them, their first designer is Phillip Lim. I just like how effortless they looked, and also the play on texture. The two looks that I have is just like, one of them, it just looks like he gathered all the fabric, and it just looks kind of like it was tossed on a body, but the way it comes together, like, you know, a lot of intention was put into it, but it just looks so effortless.
Yes, and I don't know, like, personally how to sew clothes, but I know that those little pleats, to get those ruffles to fall the way they fall, took a lot of time and a lot of effort, especially because his look very exact and they don't look sloppy. Like, I know you all have seen ruffles, like, out at fast fashion and different stuff, and it does not give this clean look that Phillip Lim gives, so I understand.
Right, and then the second look, I feel like that kind of wrap dress, like the fringe, the tiered, multi-layered one, it was very, like, I guess the last couple of years it's been in, but this is just like a higher level of it. And then I like that he paired it with that, like, sequin underneath, and then she just looks really elevated. Like, you wouldn't just wear this, you could wear this to work and then out to play afterwards.
Yes. Do you think any of this is kind of inspired by the rise of, like, cottagecore / normcore times when everybody was trying to dress, like, simpler or, like, hearkening to a simpler time?
Definitely. It's part of, like, that niche. Because we'll see in a second, just, like, there were so many different, like, trends. And everybody's doing, like, their own thing. But there's, like, groups doing the same thing. That's
true. There's, like, little schools, little cliques going on. I saw that. I saw that a lot.
Okay, what's your first look?
My first look is from the Peter Doot show. It's look 32. I love it because I love, like, a sumptuous, rich fabric. And I like sexy dressing, like borderline slutty secretary dressing that isn't, like, giving too much away. Kind of how now we have all, to me, it seems a lot of overexposed looks because of fast fashion, like the Fashion Nova type of looks where we have our butts cut out, our hips, all of that. You don't need necessarily all that to look sexy. And I think Peter really understood that, and he did a great job with this. From, like, the silk top and the skirt with the pleating to the overcoat, like, being in the same fabric, is just very simple and elegant, and you can either make this look super sexy or, like, wear it to work, wear it to dinner, to meet somebody's parents if you must.
No, I agree. This is the designer that I had never heard of until I was, like, doing all this research, and his show was, like, one of my favorites as well.
Okay. Yeah, and he had a lot of good looks in the show, so please go watch it if you are so inclined, if you like this style.
Yeah.
Alright, what's your next look?
This next one, it was Gabrielle Hurst. And I picked just two to show for examples, but I like the designs, and she does, like, what she does, like, you know, the suiting and beautiful, like
yeah, she has a mean coat.
But this one was great just because all the artisans that she worked with. So she worked with, like, a collective that was, I believe, in Uruguay to create, like, different textiles, but also with a Navajo, I believe it's Navajo, tribe craftsperson to create just, like, more textiles that would later be interwoven into the designs. And she had some of her, like, classic suiting, but also there were, like, things that were just, like, more psychedelic that had, like, interesting textiles and colors.
Okay, I really like the idea of, like, I don't want to say upper, but let's say, like, well-known designers working with the smaller creative collectives for things like textiles, beading, and all of that, and for them to say it out loud, because when they don't, it gives the impression that, like, everything is made by the designer and in the house and all of that, and you don't understand all of the hands that go into, like, a piece that you really love. And I think that helps the customers to be informed about pricing as well, because none of this stuff is cheap. So when you have the idea in your head, they're like, oh, this designer just made all this stuff, like, she bought fabric and she cut it and, you know, sew it into this. It doesn't give you the same effect as if when you know, like, oh, there were artisans in Uruguay, and there was this Navajo craftswoman, and there's all these different pieces that come together to make a great collection.
Yeah, just kind of like the outsourcing, and just how, like, oh, it's not just, like, one designer, but, like, the world of fashion is just so wide, just, like, sourcing things from different places.
It's pretty great.
And then also it's helping those people who might not have the exposure otherwise if not collaborating with them.
Yes, and if those people, for example, were to, like if even she says it like in a little line in a magazine article or something, if that person decides to or comes upon wealth, you know, because fashion takes a lot of money to produce, and they would like to have their own line, that would be like a star on their resume that they produce these things for the Gabrielle Hurst show, and they've worked with other people before.
Right.
My next look is from Christian Cowan's show. I picked this look because it seems like he's using the same material and beading that he used on a suit that was like Instagram famously worn by Beyonce. And he has that same material here, the white with like the multicolor beading, as his wedding look. And I really liked it at first because a lot of people don't do wedding looks at the end of the show anymore. And that's kind of what I grew up on, being in the 90s. Like even the most outlandish wild show had a wedding look at the end to close. So I really liked that. And I liked how he did this with the feathers coming out. It made it look very bold and fantastic. I love a whimsical look. And I don't know, especially after a pandemic when we're all shut in and all the brides were like getting married on the court steps and on the sidewalks and whatnot, I would love to see a little bit of fantasy brought back into that realm, especially not so much like the big princess looks.
Yes.
But something sexy and cool and young, like for a Carrie Bradshaw type bride.
I feel like he's exciting, but in a way that most people thought of Jeremy Scott. I actually think that he's exciting, Christian Cowan.
Okay, yes, because Jeremy Scott is very kitsch, so it's like almost a joke. His
Yeah.
creativity.
It's too campy.
It's too camp. I'm always here for camp, but it's too much.
Yeah.
Oh. What is your next look?
The next one, well, right now, I want to talk about like a little trend. So I was like doing all this research, and then I was attracted to a couple of looks. One of them was at Laquan Smith, and it was this red, I guess it was a satin like cargo pant, but also like a onesie. And it had cutouts. And something about that, I think it's the fabrication, and then also kind of the design was harkened back to like Beyonce in Crazy in Love music video. But then I had also seen a similar like cargo pant that was in a satin, and that was at Tom Ford. So maybe that's a trend.
Maybe that's a trend. And like the just kind of like the shoot we did, if none of you have seen it, go to Christian's TikTok right now. We'll link it, we'll put it somewhere, or go to his Instagram with the like 90s inspired futuristic type thing. Like the shiny materials and all of that stuff. Mixed with a little bit of streetwear elements, like if we're gonna be aliens, we're gonna have baggy pants.
Oh yeah, so like all that TLC, like early 2000s Aaliyah is back in.
Yes, these looks all go with that time. Like there was a through line with that. I like it a lot. I don't know though about the shows as a whole.
Right, no.
Tom Ford and Laquan Smith. But, you know, they had some pieces that I could probably, but it was a little bit too intergalactic club.
Laquan, right?
Yes.
Yes, and then he had like these puffy sleeve dresses, but then he also had like swimwear, and then there was this one. Well, we might as well go into it. So I have the two photos, and I sent it to you. But we have the one is like where she's walking down a poodle, and then she has this like, I don't know.
Never Day type thing.
Yeah, it's like his version of the Fashion Nova dress. And then after that, I have this other picture. It's the like see-through. It's like he's selling lingerie, and this like lace. I'm like, who's your client? Where's she going? Are they gonna afford this price point?
So that was the biggest thing for me with the style of his clothes, because he even had like some streetwear pieces mixed in with like Laquan print on it, t-shirts, sweatshirts, what have you. And it's like, I looked up one of the pieces because I guess he's going to be sold in Nordstrom now, and it was $2,600 for basically a unitard.
Oh.
That was like, had velvet burnout. And I don't know if the girl, the intergalactic club girl, the, early 2000s aesthetic type of girl, can afford those prices when fast fashion is going to give literally the same type of look this fast, if they don't already have it, So it's kind of, I think there might be a disparity there. And like I discussed with you off camera, that like Rihanna, global renowned superstar, could not sell her, under $1,000 pieces, luxury pieces, and she was under LVMH. Right. So I don't know about the longevity of Laquan Smith. Although, I like him, I like his brand, I don't know about the longevity with this price point.
Right, and there was like promising like outfits in between. It's just like the whole thing. There was a lot more looks, I feel like, than like other more established designers had. Yeah. Maybe it's like the excitement of his first like big huge show, and then the Empire State Building and everything. There's a lot of hype around it, but it kind of like fell flat for me.
I think there has to be, like you said, a very well-defined customer and a woman and a story and where she's going and what her life is about. It cannot be trying to attack all the trends and to sell to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, even when it's a niche like your club girl niche, there's variations of the club girl in there, and you got to pick one or two. Go with them. So my next look is by I never heard of this person prior to this fashion week. Victor Baragon. His brand is just called Baragon. He's a Mexican artist, and I really love what he did with streetwear, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to do streetwear right now and it's coming off like cheap, you know. And you want me to pay $700 for this hoodie when it's the same hoodie that I can go get at Forever 21. So like, I really like what he did with the top, like traditional streetwear, especially if you're like, for me, I feel like Mexican culture is very interwoven with mine because I'm from California and like LA specifically. So like, we've always been in proximity to each other in our fashion and all of that. So like the plaid, a well-known, you know, streetwear type of shirt, you cut it up and you made this top. You know, I can't really buy this anywhere. I'm sure places will try to knock it off, but it won't be the same as yours. And then the way that the pants are styled with the belt, I think that belt is a part of his brand. The big boots, the chunky in the front boots, they look a little bit cartoonish, but they go with the looks here. I love his casting in the show, the styling, the sunglasses. It, you know, I can tell who his customer is. If they'll be able to afford this, I don't know. But I can tell who they are. And I like elevated streetwear instead of just hoodies with things written on them, shirts with things written on them. I'm tired of it.
What do you think about Fear of God?
Fear of God. Okay, so Lorenzo, I love him. I think he's hot. There's that. However, I do think that there is a little bit of like a hype machine that is keeping him afloat, because you were doing Fear of God forever and that was doing well to a degree, because I even saw like times where he was maybe feeling frustrated and stuff, posting different things on social media. But then you hit this through line with essentials. Maybe that was one of your best selling pieces on Fear of God, like your sweatsuits or something. And you're like, I'm just gonna do this. And now we have, I guess they're luxurious fabrics, you know, they feel nice, but they're very plain clothes, like Gap plain clothes.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was going to compare it to. It was like, he's a high-end Gap.
Yeah, and it's like people are paying hundreds of dollars. And I saw the line in LA. The line was crazy, like a bread line in the Depression. People were out there, they really wanted it. And I don't know if it's because the kids want to post on social that, yeah, look at me, I got my essentials, you know? Or is it that they really like the clothes? I can't tell. Or will this be like FUBU and I'll just be able to get essentials, you know, at Goodwill in 5-6 years?
Yes, Burlington House, Burlington Coat Factory, whatever.
Burlington House, yeah, that's their designer line. I don't know. What is your next look?
Oh, okay, so this one is Caroline Herrera. It's Wes Gordon. He just, like, stayed true to the brand and the DNA. I picked this particular image. It was just, like, a really pretty dress, but he made it whimsical. There's, like, a touch of Beetlejuice in it. But also, I picked the second image. It's just, like, through our research, I noticed that, like, so many people did, like, balloon hems. Like, balloon, like, fabric. Yeah, so I feel like that's a trend.
Yeah, and we had this, what, in like 2007 to 2010, the balloon hem. My friend wore a prom dress that was a balloon hem. I really like the, like, column cinched in nature of the black and white dress, the way that flows too. It does give a hint of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
But also, as a Harry Potter fan, to me it gives Helena Bonham Carter.
Okay, I see.
She would wear this. She would kill this in any, what is the director's name?
Tim Burton.
Yes, any type of Tim Burton film. Somebody could wear this dress.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Kill it.
Yes. What's your last?
My final look is from formerly Sally LaPointe. Now I guess it's just called LaPointe.
Oh, they changed
Yeah, I
it?
don't know why. Everybody's trying to get simple and boring with these names and these fonts.
Okay.
I guess. I really loved her from the first time I ever saw her collection, from like the fur on the sleeves of the sweaters and her really sharp tailoring and the suiting. I, in my real life, I'm like a boring dressing person. I like really clean lines, streamlined things, monochromatic colors. So I really loved how she took this suit, and it looks kind of updated because it has the pockets on the side. So it's like, I don't know, a little cargo suit vibe. The jacket is very plain and clean with no lapels. I really like that. It's given like a Matrix. And then a crop top or like a tight t-shirt, because it's not necessarily cropped, is really cool. And I think without the jacket, you could be walking around casually. Like if you have on some cute, like, designer sandals in LA with some glasses, like a regular look. Put the jacket on, you go into your meeting, maybe you go on your date. You know, this is a multifunctional springtime look. And you look like you have a lot of money because you're wearing all white. And who does that?
Oh, yeah. I think, like, she does a great job because that's, like, her thing is, like, the sumptuous fabrics. I don't even know what they are in, like, real life. I don't even know who carries her because it's just, like...
It's too rich.
It is. But she does, you know, like, a whole outfit in one particular color. I feel like her biggest salesperson is probably J-Lo.
Okay.
She's always wearing, like, head-to-toe Sally LaPointe.
Yeah, and you know, that makes me feel good because J-Lo is one of the best dressed women I've ever seen in my life. So if I have similar nature of, you know, my boring style to J-Lo, then I'm winning. Yeah, J-Lo's like, she's like 50 now. She always looks incredible.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to say? How are we gonna close this up, wrap this up?
I don't know. That's just my synopsis of this New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, that's I don't know. New York Fashion Week this time was kind of underwhelming. I'm getting tired of the activewear trend taking over. I don't think you need a whole runway show of different neon color activewear. Maybe the people are like thirsty from like the Fear of Gods and the Virgil Abloh that are doing really well in the streetwear space. I know Vetements was doing really well for a time too. But just like, let it go. We can get sweatsuits anywhere.
Yes. I like what you said somewhere in our chats, but you said that it felt like a lot of Zara's.
Yeah, it's a lot of Zara. A lot of Gap. Even, you know, for lack of a better term, there's a lot of Forever 21 or just stuff that I could go there and get that same cut, be it not the same fabric, and go out.
Yes. Disposable. But that, I guess that also goes into, like, sustainability about everything. So hopefully people will be more conscious about that, too.
I don't know, but I feel like the whole sustainable fashion thing is not a conversation for me as a, you know, basically poor middle-class person. If I get a dress for $10, $20, I'm buying that. It's you guys with your private jets and your corporation that's killing the earth. It's not my 15 different color crop tops, you know?
Yes.
What can I do? If you want me to cut up my used and discarded H&M clothes, Zara clothes, and make it into new, I'll try my best, I guess. Upcycle it. But I don't feel that I'm really the problem here.
There's bigger issues.
Bigger issues. Oh, wait, though. But since we're here on YouTube, you girls that do those hauls, you might be part of the problems. If you're doing a haul, you're buying 100 items.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not wearing them.
One wear for the Instagram post, and that's it.
You might be the problem. Because if I get basics, this dress, basics, and I'm wearing it over and over until something happens to it. Do what you want with that information. Thank you so much, Christian, for coming. I hope we get to review more fashion shows. This was great. You're great. Follow Christian on social media. We'll put it all up in between us.
Hey.
Do you have anything coming out that you would like to talk about, you would like to discuss?
No, if anything, we should link them to our collaboration photo shoot.
Yeah, and follow him on TikTok. Follow him on everything because Christian's cool. If you want to be cool, you'll follow him. And subscribe to this channel. All right, bye.